Have you ever sprinted through an airport, heart pounding, only to hear that soul-crushing announcement, your flight has been delayed, and wondered if airlines are just messing with you, or if there's some hidden game happening behind the scenes that no one ever talks about? Because here's the truth, most travelers never realize flight delays aren't random. They're part of a massive, invisible chain reaction where one tiny problem can quietly snowball into hours of waiting, frustration, and missed connections. And it all starts long before you even arrive at the airport. Because while you're packing your bags or grabbing coffee, airlines are already juggling crew schedules that follow strict federal rest laws, meaning if a pilot or flight attendant worked too many hours the day before, even if your plane is sitting there ready to go, it legally can't take off until the crew is rested. And sometimes that crew is stuck on another delayed flight somewhere across the country, creating what insiders call a crew domino effect, where one late landing in Chicago ends up delaying a departure in Miami. And that's just the beginning, because planes themselves don't live at one airport. They travel all day hopping from city to city like giant metal bees. And if one earlier flight has a mechanical issue, even something small, like a sensor glitch or a cabin door that won't seal perfectly, that same aircraft may now arrive late to your airport, throwing off the entire schedule. And airlines can't just swap planes easily like switching cars in a parking lot, because each plane is assigned based on passenger load, fuel needs, and available gates. So when one plane goes down for maintenance, it creates a ripple effect across dozens of flights. And here's the crazy part, most passengers don't know. Airlines sometimes intentionally build delays into schedules, a practice called padding, where they add extra minutes to flight times so that when delays happen, they don't look as bad on performance reports. Meaning your flight might already be expected to arrive late before you even board. But that padding isn't always enough when air traffic control steps in, because American skies are some of the busiest in the world, with thousands of planes in the air at the same time. And when storms hit major hubs like Atlanta, Dallas, or New York, air traffic controllers slow down traffic nationwide to prevent congestion, like a highway traffic jam in the sky. And even if the weather is perfect at your airport, a thunderstorm hundreds of miles away can delay your takeoff because there's no space for you to land on time. And while that's happening, gates at your destination get backed up. Planes circle in holding patterns, burning fuel. Crews approach their maximum legal work hours, and suddenly, airlines are forced to cancel or delay flights even more because they literally don't have staff available anymore. And now let's talk about the uncomfortable truth. Airlines rarely admit sometimes delays are strategic, because airlines operate on incredibly tight profit margins. And when a flight is underbooked or connecting passengers haven't arrived yet, they may hold the plane a little longer, hoping to fill more seats or wait for high-value travelers, especially on international routes, where missing a connection could mean losing thousands of dollars in rebooking costs. And while they'll never announce that reason publicly, insiders have confirmed it happens more than people think. And then there's airport congestion itself, where older airports were designed decades ago when air travel was much lighter, meaning runways, taxiways, and terminals simply weren't built to handle modern traffic levels. So planes often sit on the tarmac waiting for clearance, waiting for gates, waiting for baggage crews, waiting for fuel trucks, waiting for catering, waiting for literally everything, and every minute adds up. And here's something wild. Sometimes your flight is delayed because of baggage, not yours, but from another flight that arrived late, and now the crew is rushing to transfer hundreds of suitcases before departure. Because if those bags don't make it, airlines pay massive compensation and deal with angry passengers for days. So they often choose to delay the flight instead of leaving luggage behind. And speaking of angry passengers, airlines also deal with unruly travelers more than ever now, where one disruptive person can force a plane to return to the gate, triggering security checks, crew changes, and paperwork that can delay the flight by hours. And let's not forget security protocols themselves, where if there's even a tiny threat or system issue, entire terminals can lock down, causing cascading delays across dozens of flights. And all of this is happening while airline operations teams sit in massive control rooms watching screens filled with blinking flights, trying to constantly rearrange aircraft, crews, and schedules like a real-life game of chess where one wrong move costs millions. And yet, no matter how advanced the technology gets, human limits still exist. Weather still wins, machines still break. And the system is so tightly connected that perfection is basically impossible, which is why airlines quietly expect a certain percentage of delays every single day. And here's the biggest secret of all. The industry runs unacceptable disruption, meaning delays are built into business models as a cost of doing business, not as rare accidents. And while airlines work hard to minimize them, they also know that a completely delay-free system would require massive investments in infrastructure, staffing, and aircraft that would skyrocket ticket prices. So in a way, cheaper flights today are partially paid for with our patience. And when you hear that calm voice over the loudspeaker apologizing for inconvenience, what you're really experiencing is the result of a massive, invisible web of weather patterns. Labor laws, scheduling strategies, aging airports, profit pressures, and non-stop air traffic congestion all colliding at once. And the next time your flight gets delayed, it might not be because of one simple problem, but because of 20 small ones stacking up quietly behind the scenes. So what can smart travelers actually do to avoid being stuck in this mess? First, book earlier flights in the day because delays compound as the day goes on. Second, avoid tight connections, especially through busy hubs known for weather issues. Third, choose airlines with larger fleets because they have more flexibility to swap aircraft when problems happen. Fourth, track inbound flights using flight apps so you can predict delays before announcements. Fifth, sit closer to the front so you can rebook faster if things go wrong. And finally, always build buffer time into important trips because in today's airline system, delays aren't exceptions, they're part of the reality. And understanding how the game really works gives you the power to travel smarter, calmer, and with fewer surprises.